everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a classic holiday makeup look. I'm thinking a red lip and a very classic simple eye. For this look, I was definitely inspired by Nikki Rouge. She posted a video a few days ago with Lisa J. She was doing Lisa J's makeup and the look was just so stunning. It was such a classic holiday look with the red lip, and her makeup was just flawless at the end. Nikki is so talented, Lisa is beautiful, and I just loved the video. I loved every single second of it. I will link it below. If you haven't watched it, definitely go watch it. But we're going to be kind of recreating that look with some different products. I think I do have one product that they used in that video that we'll use today, but that was definitely the inspiration for this look. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you'll subscribe and let's get started with the makeup. All right, I believe Nikki did eyes first. I think she said she always does eyes first. I am not an eyes first person, so we are gonna do face first today. I'm gonna start with this from Charlotte Tilbury, the Hollywood Flawless Filter. I think actually she did use this on Lisa, I wanna say. In the video, this is shade 3, and I'm mainly just gonna focus this on the tops of my cheeks. That's it. We're using a foundation that's more on the matte side, so kind of want to balance that out with something glowy underneath. And let's see, I'm just gonna blend this in with a number 64 brush from Sephora. All right, for under my eyes, I'm gonna use color corrector, of course. I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury. This one is the Magic Vanish in the shade number 2. And I'm just gonna apply this under my eyes. I can't remember if she used a color corrector on Lisa. I feel like she didn't, because Lisa doesn't really need it under her eyes, but you know how we roll on this channel with color corrector. So I'm just tapping this in with my finger. This is a great color corrector. It's very creamy. Even though it is in like a compact like this, it's still a very creamy, hydrating formula. So if you need something with a good bit of coverage, but you also struggle with dryness under the eyes, or you just don't like something super dry or something that will enhance dryness under the eyes, this is a really good one. Similar to Bobbi Brown, the original, but this one is just a little bit more hydrating. All right, for foundation, I'm gonna use this one. I believe Nikki used the NARS Light Reflecting foundation in that video, but I love that foundation, but this is a newer one to me that I kind of want to test out a little bit. So we're gonna use this one today. This one is the shade 135N. I really like the glowy version of this, the Karen Glow. So I've been very interested in this formula. I always see so many makeup artists, I feel like, raving about this foundation too. Like Andrea Ali, I know she uses this a lot. And I'm using my 106 from BK Beauty to apply this, as always. I think this is actually like a perfect shade match for me. Adding just a little bit more where I need a little bit more coverage. Literally, these little hairs on the side, like where my sideburn area is, I guess, are driving me absolutely nuts. Like this one, I keep tucking it behind my ear. It just keeps popping out. It's literally driving me nuts. All right, for concealer, I'm gonna use the Lancome. I believe Nikki used my favorite right now, which is the Natasha Denona one, but I've been using that in literally every single video, so we're gonna use this instead. This is the shade 215. And since we're using a Lancome foundation, I figured we'll use the Lancome concealer also. But yeah, Nikki and Lisa have done a few videos together. I think Lisa had one on her channel and they gave like makeup artist tips in that video. That was also a really great video. If you haven't seen it, definitely go watch that one too. Yeah, I just love watching the two. I love them individually, but I love watching them together because I always learn something. I'm adding just like one little dot of this Urban Decay Quickie concealer. This has a good bit of coverage. The Lancome does not, or it has decent coverage, but not a ton. So I'm doing that, or I'm adding the Urban Decay just to get a little bit more. And I'm gonna blend with one of my favorite brushes for concealer, which is the 110 from BK Beauty. I actually don't have the brushes yet from Nikki, the BK Beauty collab. I can't wait to get those and try them because they look so nice and unique, different from the other BK Beauty brushes. So if I had them, I would be using those, but I don't have them. Okay, for bronzer, I'm going to do a cream first, and then I think I'm going to do a little bit of a powder also. I'm going to use the NARS Laguna bronzer, cream bronzer. This one is in Laguna 01. And I'm using the 109 from BK Beauty to apply this. I'm just going to use a little bit. I'm not trying to apply a ton of this since I'm going to go back in and add a little bit of a powder bronzer in a minute. I basically just kind of want to use this to get a little bit of warmth and some structure. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of powder bronzer now. I'm gonna use this one. This is the Tom Ford Glow Bronzer. Yeah, Glow Bronzer in the shade Terra. I've had this for years, literally years, and I don't use it that much. It's not one that I've ever like really fallen in love with. I don't really know why. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but so many of you told me when I was talking about wanting to find like my holy grail powder bronzer, and I was kind of describing what I like in a bronzer. So many of you were like, you need the Tom Ford bronzer in Terra. And I was like, yeah, I have it. I just don't use it. I actually remember I got this bronzer, I think at a cosmetics company store. If you're not familiar, they're typically in outlet stores, and they are all Estee Lauder brands, but you can get them really, really discounted. And I remember when I got this one, it was really, really discounted. I want to say I got this bronzer like 75% off. It was like a highly, highly discounted. I don't know why, it's not one that I pull out and use. So I thought we would use it today. It's kind of a similar tone to that NARS bronzer, Laguna 01. I'm gonna bring some down my neck too. For blush, Nikki used this blush in this video and they were using it. She pulled it out and I remember I was thinking, oh my gosh, I own that blush and it's never been used. Believe it or not, this is one of those things that I bought. It's been a while. Sometimes, you guys, I get in like a makeup frenzy and I will buy something and totally forget that I bought it. And then I'll remember months later that I bought something and it's sitting in my closet and it's not been used. This is one of those products. So it is the Dior blush, Rouge blush in the shade 459 Charnelle, I think is how you say it. But this has never been used. And look how pretty this color is. But they were saying that this goes really well with a nude lip. So I figured we could use this today because obviously I've not tried it with a nude lip. So I'm excited to try this. It's a really pretty, it's kind of a peachy nude color. I've actually never tried this formula from Dior. I've only ever tried the Backstage Rosy Glow blushes. So we're gonna try this out, and I'm gonna use the 112 from BK Beauty. I feel like sometimes it can be kind of tough to figure out what blush to use with a red lip, because you don't want to do something that's so intense that it like overpowers the lip and then it kind of clashes a little bit. You want to use something really soft. I feel like this is like that perfect color. That is a really beautiful color. So that is Charnelle right there. This is kind of, it's not a super dewy, glowy looking blush, but it does have like a little bit of radiance to it, which is really pretty. Okay, we're gonna move on and use some powder now. I'm just gonna use this little Laura Mercier powder. This is just the original. And I get asked about this brush a lot. I love this brush for powder, and unfortunately they discontinued this brush. I do not know why, but it was the Sephora number 55. Of all the brushes to discontinue, I think they only discontinued this one and kept everything else. I love this brush for powder. I'm just gonna set, but mainly just the T-zone. I'm gonna use just a little bit of highlighter. This is the Bobbi Brown highlighter in Pink Glow. I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty highlighter brush. I pulled this out in my everyday makeup drawer video for this month because I always forget I have this little mini. And this is such a pretty highlighter from Bobbi Brown. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera. I've been using the same exact product in every video, every single time I do my brows, from Anastasia, the brow powder in medium brown. So I'm gonna put this in my brows and I'll be back and we'll move on to the fun part, which is the eyes and the lips. Okay, for the eyes, I'm gonna use the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I'm not gonna use a ton of shadows in here. I wanna keep the eyes really minimal and very classic, just a little something with probably a wing. Nikki did do a wing on Lisa. I believe she used the new Huda Pretty Grunge palette. I don't have that palette, but this palette is kind of a similar color story, so we're gonna use that. I'm gonna start with priming my eyes first. I'm just gonna use this Sigma eyeshadow primer, just so we start with a nice even canvas for the eyeshadow. For the eyes, I'm gonna start with this shade right here called Transition. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna take a little bit of translucent powder. I'm just gonna use the Laura Mercier one that I used on my face earlier and just kind of set down that Sigma base just so it doesn't interfere with the shadows. All right, so now I'm gonna go into the shade here, which is a matte, really, really light gray. And I'm gonna use this in my crease. It's a really nice shade. It's very light though, so it doesn't add a ton of color, but this is, like I said, I don't want a ton going on the eyes because I want to keep it really clean. And I think we are going to do a wing. Then I'm going to take the shade next to it, which is Crease, right here. This is a little bit darker, a little bit more of a taupe. And I'm going to switch to a more tapered brush. This is the 202 from BK Beauty, and the first one was the 212. This one is just tapered on the end, so you can kind of more easily get in your outer corner, which is what I want to do with this shade. So I'm going to lightly apply that in the outer corner and then just kind of feather up into that transition shade that we used. This palette is so beautiful. I remember when this came out, this was like the it palette for the longest time. Do you guys remember that? And then, I mean, you saw it in everybody's videos. Everyone was using it. I feel like now the I Need a Nude palette has replaced this for sure. But this palette is beautiful too. It's definitely similar. It's just a little bit more on the gray silver side, whereas the I Need a Nude is a little bit more slightly rose, cooler rose tones with a little bit of like a silver mixed in. It's not quite as gray toned, I feel like, as this one. Trying to decide, I want to do a little bit of a shimmer, just a little bit in the center of my lid. But there's so many good ones in here, like this one. This is more silver. This one up here is a little bit more pinky. This one down here is more golden. I think I might do this one. This one actually says Inner Corner as the name. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to do just a little bit of that one. I'm going to use this 203 from BK Beauty, and I'm just going to tap a little bit of that right in this center part of my lid. I'm not trying to get a ton here, just a light little wash of it. And we're gonna stop there for shadow. All right, we will do a little something on the lower lash line in a minute, but I am gonna do a winged liner. Nikki did winged liner on Lisa in the video, and she used a Danessa Myricks Color Fix. I don't have any of those, so I think I'm going to use shadow first, and then maybe I'll use a liquid liner over the top. We'll see. But I'm going to start with this shade in the middle, which is a really dark kind of charcoal gray, and I'm going to use this shade to kind of sketch the liner. And I'm using, of course, the 208 brush from BK Beauty. I'm gonna try to stay in focus. I'm just gonna go from the center of my lid out. I'm probably not gonna bring it all the way in. I don't love doing that on my eye shape. She did a really small, like, mini wing on Lisa, so I'm trying to keep this small. Not easy to do, but this brush makes it much, much easier. If you don't have this brush, you need it in your life. I talk about it, I feel like, in every single video, but it is so good, especially for this kind of eyeliner. It is so helpful. Just trust me. For the lower lash line, I'm going to take a little bit of both shades, the matte shades that we used in the crease, and I'm going to put those under the eye. I think I'm going to take a little bit of this shade right here. I've never done this before, but this is the outer eyelid. It's a metallic, kind of a charcoal gray. And I'm going to get just a little bit on my brush with this color, really tap it off, and then I'm just going to take a little bit of this right in this outer corner, just to add a little bit more of something there, but not much because I don't want it to look like a lot, but I'm going to take just a little bit of that out here. And then I am going to do a little bit of an inner corner brightening shade. I'm going to use this silver shade. It's actually called Inner Corner right here. And I'm going to put this right in the tear duct. Okay, I'm going to, hopefully I don't mess this up, but I'm going to take the Rare Beauty eyeliner in black, and I'm going to kind of trace this liner just to intensify it a little bit. Then I'm gonna take a little bit of eyeliner. I don't have a black to do this with, so I'm just gonna do this Makeup by Mario in the Perfect Brown, which is just a dark brown. And I'm gonna line the waterline with this. Since we did that liner, I feel like this kind of helps bring it together with the lash line. Okay, I wasn't gonna do this, but now I'm kind of in the mood to try. Should we do some lashes? I never do these. I feel like a few years ago into my channel, I did it a little bit, but I haven't done it in at least a year, probably closer to 2 years. But I kind of want to do just like 1 or 2 on this outer corner. So I think we're gonna go for it. The only problem is I don't have my Duo lash glue, and I feel like that was the glue that I liked. All I have is this. This is all I can find, literally, and I don't think this is gonna be that great, but I guess I'll just have to chance it and hope for the best. This is the AOA Studio Super Strip Lash Adhesive. I feel like they sent me this a long time ago. Yeah, it's black. I don't know if this is a good idea, but I kind of feel like I want to try. So let's just go for it, I guess. I'm gonna curl my lashes first. I think you're supposed to do that. Maybe not. That might have been a bad idea. So these are the Kiss Look So Natural Trio Lashes. One of my favorite makeup artists, Kelly Ann, on Instagram. I talk about her all the time. She, years ago when I first started following her, these were the lashes that she used, and I started buying them and using them, or attempting to use them. I've never been very good at it, but so I have one of the trios, and these have a little like pocket thing here for the glue. I have some old glue there. I'm gonna put some of this glue inside the little pocket. I'm nervous. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of glue. Hopefully I can do this. I think the best way to do this is to drop them from above. So far, so good. All right, I think I'm just gonna do 2. I'm gonna do one there and one a little bit closer in. There are medium length and short length in here, so I think that one was a medium length, so I'm gonna do a short one for the second one. Okay, I can't tell if that's gonna look weird or not, but let's add some mascara. I'm gonna use this Jones Road mascara. Okay, I think this is the best that I could do. That was a struggle. That was a struggle. I guess I need to practice doing it a little bit more. Yeah, it definitely didn't help. This glue was not the best either, but I don't know. I don't know if I like it or not. I'm not used to seeing myself with lashes, so I feel like I have to kind of get used to it, but I feel like it kind of goes with the wing liner. So let's move on to the lip, the final part, the lip. I want to use this. We're just going real crazy today doing things I don't normally do. We're going to use this red lip from Rare Beauty. This is the matte lip cream in the shade Inspire. It's a really pretty red. So we're going to use this, but I'm going to use a lip liner that's more neutral. I can't remember if they talked about it in the video or maybe I saw it somewhere else, but how it's a good idea to use a neutral lip liner. With a red, it's less intimidating, I guess, than a normal like red lip liner. I don't even own a red lip liner, I don't think. This is Anastasia in Cool Brown. That's a pretty color. I've actually never used this before, but this is Cool Brown from Anastasia. I'm gonna take a little lip brush and kind of go over it a little. You guys have to let me know if you wear a red lip a lot. What kind of lip liner do you use? Do you use a red or do you use something else? Now we're moving on to the red. All right, you guys, this is the final look. Very, very far outside my comfort zone. I don't do red lips and I don't do lashes either, but I don't know, I think it's kind of holiday-esque. I feel a little bit out of my very out of my comfort zone, but I don't know, I thought it would be fun to do something a little bit different. And like I said, I was very inspired by Nikki and Lisa J's video. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope this inspires you to do something a little bit different. This makes me kind of want to experiment with lashes a little bit more. I think I need to get some better glue and experiment a little bit more because I feel like it's one of those things you really have to practice to get the hang of it. But I hope this inspires you to do something a little bit different for the holidays. But thank you so much for watching. I will have all the products linked below for you. I do use affiliate links that support my channel, so thank you so much if you shop through them. I hope you'll subscribe and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. And I will see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.